All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the Tokon Fighting Souls Marvel game beta has come to us. And for those of you who are lucky enough to get inside of the beta, it's a pretty fun beta. The things that I want to talk about here is going to be the make or break for you possibly to get a handle on what this fighter is bringing to the table versus all the other fighters out there in the world. So it's going to add to the genre. It's not going to take away anything. It's not a direct competitor against Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and it's not a direct competitor versus any any fighting game that I've played so far. It has a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a dab of this and a dab of that. It is a fighting game to where you can be like, this is my main and these are my assists, or this is a tag fighter and you're not gonna know how I'm going to tackle you next. But if you want to get a different matchup from your opponent, right? So I'm main in Captain America, I'm over here getting whooped, and I need to switch out. I need to kind of make that assessment very quickly on when it comes to my fight. So you got Doctor Doom, which is a range type character, could possibly get closed down distance on from Storm or Ms. Marvel. Kind of hard to close the distance with Captain America. Not really a good matchup, and I should probably change him out. But the way that the game is set up is that, again, you can see the big character at the top, the way that it kind of plays out, the way that you're gonna play the game, in my opinion, is you're going to have a main character and then you're going to find the best mix for them, and you're probably going to get a secondary character that changes the dynamic of how you fight. So if I'm to guess that Spider-Man is going to come in with either like a web closer with a kick, or he's going to do something with like a web swing. Could be a little bit slow, could be a little bit clunky, while Ghost Rider could potentially pull with his chains and drag you in to close the distance. Storm has her lightning blast that kind of covers like the whole little grid. Ms. Marvel closes the distance with her grab, and Captain America throws a shield. These are unique interactions with the characters that grants you a little bit more flexibility on how you want to tackle the fight versus the light, medium, and heavy attacks. So you do have the air dash rising up, like the bounce, hit them from the ground, hit them up into the sky, and then do your aerial combos like from Marvel's Capcom 3, Marvel's Capcom 2, and all those types of games. The main thing that you want to take away from Tokon Fighting Souls is that it is very, very new fighting game friendly. If you want to get into Guilty Gear Strive, right, you're going to have to learn about a lot of mechanics and take a lot of L's, a lot of losses, before you really get a good grip on your character and if it's meant for you and if it's not meant for you, that one character. But again, a lot of the characters are fun to play in Tokon Fighting Souls, but not everyone's going to vibe with them. But it's easy to pick up and put down a new main character and to possibly learn a different assist type. Now, for those who end up getting to the curve of they can play all four of their characters relatively smooth and change them out on the fly, that's where I can see the skill coming into play for Marvel Tokon Souls Fighting. I keep saying that thing backwards, but you get what I'm saying. There are some unique interactions with like Storm locking people out. I don't know if they're going to keep that. She's very oppressive. She doesn't have a lot of gaps. She can cast storms on the ground. She can cast storms from the sky. She can bring you in. She can push you away. Just a master of all the elements, and it's very, very fun to play Storm. While Iron Man is a bit more clunky. He's a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for the word intentional. Everything that he does is intentional, while Doctor Doom is oppressive and he sets things up. You can see with his long range laser beam that when it drifts along for a certain amount of time, you always have to worry about that threat. He can put up a shield to end up blocking projectiles, and he can split his gunshots into like three beams or one big beam, and it's a very open playstyle for each one of these characters. And even Ms. Marvel's character design is good. It is it's fun to play, and it's just the way that you would think that an anime version of any of these characters would be. You got it there. And Dr. Doom gets more of a classic style when it comes to his kit design. He's everybody else is all anime-esque, but he's more to the comics Doctor Doom. So I could see the skins getting crazy. I could see the the player base for this game being very, very wide, because it isn't a big skill curve. When you're playing Tekken, you have to worry about breaks and rushes and special moves and eight-way directional movement. In Tokon Fighting Souls, you don't have to worry about any of that. It is Dragon Ball Z Fighters with simplicity, but a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 perspective on, if you know what you're doing, your opponent's going to feel like they're not playing the game. And that could be good or bad. There may be a little tweak in there to where I see going on with the game. If there's anything I can see wrong with the game, it's just that you don't really have a chance to push the opponent back. No pushback. I want to say that's the Marvel's Capcom thing with pushbacks and using your super meter to push enemies back off of you. But that could probably come into the game later with true pushbacks. But other than that, the combat was smooth. The light and medium and heavy attacks felt like that's what they were exactly. Light, mediums, and heavies. The blocking mechanic was not hard. It didn't require you to hold the R1 or the L1 button. I play on console. It didn't require you to hold a button besides back. Really good fighting games will allow you to block holding the back button. I want to say it was in one Mortal Kombat game where you had to hold the R1 button in order to block, and like L1 was to grab. You can correct me if I'm wrong in any of those, but it isn't good to play a game to where you are already pushing buttons and you have to remember to push a button to do a basic thing when you're clearly holding the back button and you're looking to retreat and it's not giving you the block. So that's a it seems like a topic to be not too worried about, but if you've ever held the back button thinking that you were going to block and then you end up just getting mollywopped, then that is another barrier to entry on, hey man, you're not holding the block button. It should just be back. And it's pretty good. I don't think that I like it that when the assists come in, they don't take damage per se. Like, it isn't for you messing up. The game really doesn't punish you too hard for calling in your assists and them not really doing nothing. A lot of other fighting games will have you when you mess up and they pop out, you get heavily punished for that. And Tokon Souls isn't like that. They don't really want to punish you too much besides for pressing buttons. And there's so much that you can do that you can get lost in the sauce on pushing buttons. And for good players, maybe pushing buttons isn't a bad thing, but for the intentional characters, the Ms. Marvels, the Captain Americas, and the Iron Mans, it's not going to be good. But Doom can push all the buttons he wants, really, and it isn't. You get options. So again, can't wait for training mode to come into the game. Tokon Fighting Souls is pretty good with the limited amount of time that I've played so far, and I can't wait to see more from this studio. I want to say Arc System Works has always done good fighting games, and this is a good twist on the genre with adding to and not taking away from really anything. If it sounds like I'm glazing, go out there if you can play it, or they'll probably have a demo later in life. That's what I could see happening. So like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.